So this is all about illustrator John Vernon Lord. So in John's life, he was a teacher, illustrator, and writer. He was born in London in 1939 and is still living there today at an age of 85. He started teaching at Brighton College of Art in 1968. I'm pretty sure he retired not that long ago, and he has illustrated more than 40 books, which include children's books and adult books. So in 2018, he won the Illustrator of the Year for the Illustration Awards. In 1985, his book, The Nonsense Verse of Edward Lear, won the Redwood Burn Award and General Selectors Award. And then in 1990, his illustrations for Aesop's Fables won the overall prize in the W&A and W. H. Smith Illustrations Award. So some of the books he's illustrated for are The Giant Jam Sandwich, Miserable Aunt Bertha, and The Runaway Roller Skate. So my favorite is The Giant Jam Sandwich. So The Giant Jam Sandwich is my favorite book because when I was little, my grandma used to read it to me all the time. It was my favorite book to have read to me. I just liked the way it was written, the way it rhymed, and I liked all the little illustrations because it reminded me of the little town I grew up in. So on one hot summer day in Itching Down, 4 million wasps flew into town. They drove the picnickers away, they chased the farmers from their hay. They stung Lord Swell on his fat bald pat. They dived and hummed and buzzed and ate. And the noisy, nasty nuisance grew, till the villagers cried, "What can we do?" So they called a meeting in Village Hall, and Mayor Muddlenut asked them all, "What can we do?" And they all said, "Good question," but nobody had a good suggestion. Then Bap the baker leaped to his feet and cried, What do wasps like best to eat? Strawberry jam. Now wait a minute. If we made a giant sandwich, we could trap them in it." The gentlemen cheered, the ladies squealed, and Farmer Seed said, "Use my field." Bap gave instructions for making the dough. Mix flour from above and yeast from below. Salt from the seaside, water from the spout. Now thump it, bump it, bang it about. While they were working hard, some more made a tablecloth out in the yard. When they were done, the dough was left to rise. The loaf was a mountain in shape and size. They hitched it up with a bit of a fuss to tractors, cars, and the village bus, and took it to the oven they had made on the hill, 50 cookers in an old brick mill. As they left it to cook, the windows shook. It was piping hot when they took it out, and the villagers raised a mighty shout. "Isn't it crusty? Aren't we clever?" But the wasps were just as bad as ever. The loaf was left to cool, and then the people watched while 6 strong men took their great big saw and sliced right through. Everybody clapped as they cut slice 2. The village bus, they all agreed, would spoil the fields of Farmer Seed. So 8 fine horses pulled the bread to where the picnic cloth was spread. A truck drew up and dumped out butter, and they spread it out with a flap and a flutter. Spoons and spades, slap and slam, and they did the same with the strawberry jam. Meanwhile, high above the field, 6 flying machines whirled and wheeled, ready for the wasps to take the bait, and then there was nothing to do but wait. Suddenly the sky was humming, and all 4 million wasps were coming. They smelled the jam, they dived and struck, and they ate so much that they all got stuck. The other slice came down kersplat. on top of the wasps, and that was that. There were only 3 that got away, and where they are now, I cannot say. But they never came back to Itching Down, which is not a waspish sort of town, but a very nice place to dance and play, and that's what the villagers did that day. What became of the sandwich? Well, in Itching Down, they like to tell how the birds flew off with it in their beaks and had a feast for 100 weeks. So that was my favorite book. That was my read aloud. So now, what activity could we do with it? So the activity that I chose and that I like to do with this book was creating your own giant jam sandwich out of paper. So it's an art activity. So what you're going to do is you're going to have paper and a big sheet of paper and cut it out as a loaf of bread. Then when you fold it in half, it'll make a sandwich. So you can color on the inside if you want peanut butter or jam, like the story. And what's going to happen is you're going to figure out and make something that you want to catch in your giant jam sandwich. So like this little kid decided he wanted to catch a spider, a T-Rex, and an iguanodon in his sandwich. And then on the other side of the sandwich, I would have if this was for younger kids, I just have them do this activity right in my giant jam sandwich I caught, and then list the 3 things after they have made it and colored it, and so on and so forth. But for older kids, like second graders, I would possibly have them go on the back side, have it lined, have lined paper on the back, and have them write a little story of how they caught their creature in their giant jam sandwich. So that was my presentation. So thank you.